officially on the piano on my end. I'd like to welcome everyone this evening and call this meeting. Can you hear me? Call this meeting of the Maine Township Board to order. What I'd like to do first is ask our clerk, G. Lewis, to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. And now I'd like to ask our deputy clerk to conduct a roll call.
It will be our business.
I usually do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
In his absence.
Okay, let's start over here. We have, just gotta make sure I got everybody in the right order now. Assessor Wendenbrock.
Here.
Highway Commissioner Bouvet. Here. Clerk Giolano's here. Assessor Diamond. Oh, sorry, Supervisor Diamond.
Here.
Get this right. Clerk Jones.
Trustee Jones.
Trustee Jones. Practice.
Roll call for you?
Trustee Format.
Here. Should I do it?
Trustee Maher.
Trustee here.
And Trustee Malik.
Austin gave prior notice that he would not be able to be here. He's out of town.
Oh, that's right.
So if you just indicate that for the minutes, I appreciate
We'll take
it.
note of that.
All right. So we have a fairly heavy agenda, and I'm hoping we can go through it reasonably expeditiously. So I'm going to start going down our list here. First thing, and I also want to welcome individuals who are joining our meeting via Zoom tonight. So I hope you can hear well also. First of all, on our agenda is approval of minutes of March 30th, 2021. Do I have a motion regarding this?
Motion to approve the minutes from March 30th, 2021 and waive the reading.
For a second?
Second.
Do you want to do roll call or should I just do a voice vote for this?
Do roll call.
Okay.
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes. All right, thank you, that passes. Let's go to the next item, approval of minutes of April 27th, 2021 for the bill pay review. Do I have a motion?
Yes. Motion to approve the minutes of April 27th, 2021. Waive the reading. Bill pay review, I'm sorry. Waive the reading.
Oh,
Yeah.
is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Almost did it again. Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
And Trustee Maher.
Yes. All right, that passes. Third, approval of minutes of April 27th, 2021. And this would be the general town and general assistant fund budget hearing. Do you have a motion?
Yes, motion for approval of the minutes of April 27th, 2021, General Town and General Assistance Fund Budget Hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes. That passes. Next, approval of minutes of April 27th, 2021 board meeting.
Road district.
Oh, I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. Road district and budget hearing. Road district.
Can I get an approval of the minutes and waive the reading for April 27th, 2021, Road District Budget Hearing?
Second.
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
I vote yes. Now, approval of minutes of April 27th, 2021 board meeting. Do you have a motion?
Yeah, I'll bring a motion to approve the minutes from April 27th, 2021 board meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes. 6, approval of the general assistance expenditures. Do I have a motion regarding the general assistance expenditure.
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 30th, 2021 and May 14th, 2021, and general assistance checks number 53360 through check number 53405 in the amount of $43,979.15.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion regarding this? No? Roll call?
Supervisor Diamond,
Yes?
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Horvath,
Yes.
Trustee Meyer.
Yes.
Under approval of road district expenditures.
Okay.
A motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 30th, 2021 and May 14th, 2021, and road districts checks number 21819 through check number 21859 in the amount of $74,586.26.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Supervisor Diamond,
Yes?
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Horvath,
Yes.
Trustee Meyer.
Yes.
Next, approval of general town fund expenditures. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of April 30th, 2021 and May 14th, 2021, and general town fund checks number 58589 through check number 58648 in the amount of $301,385.70.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? And a roll call then.
Supervisor Diamond,
Yes?
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Horvath,
Yes.
Trustee Meyer.
Yes.
I just want to throw out here that in the future, the board might want to consider a consent agenda if it's something that is of interest where we can actually vote on a large group of items where there's not much controversy. So that's something that we might consider doing for the future, since we can see how that's a little bit time consuming. So, all right, number 9 on our agenda is personnel. Do we have any presentation regarding that or any information regarding?
Yeah, I'll just give a quick presentation. So, over the last year, we did have 2 part-time deputy clerks that have both retired, and that kind of has left a gap in our department. So, in the meantime, we brought on Eva Bagnowski, who's been with us since March 1st, and has been doing a really good job. She's been training under Viesha. She's pretty much got it down. What I'd really like to do is have 2 full-time people there, because it's been very difficult to have Viesha be able to take any vacation time. With only 1 full-time employee there, there's enough of a workload to keep 2 full-time people busy. Potentially in the future, I would maybe look to hire 1 more person. That would strictly be on a part-time basis. Again, just so people can take vacation or time off or whatever, and we're not down to 1 person. When we had COVID going on, it was a little easier to run the department with 1 or 2 people, but now we really are going to need 2 full-time people. That we've got more and more people coming in for passports. It seems like travel is back, and the position will be $15 an hour plus benefits. I don't think Eva's here, is she? No.
No.
All right.
But she does a great job. She's very well liked by both the staff and people. Have been getting compliments on the job.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to move Deputy Clerk Eva Bagnowski from a part-time to a full-time position?
Motion to approve the hiring of Eva Bagnowski for a full-time deputy clerk position at the hourly rate of $15 plus benefits.
Second.
Any discussion?
I was just wondering if we give any preference to people who live in the township as to jobs, other than that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Jim.
Is there any preference for people who live in the township for jobs like this? I'm not saying there should be, I'm just wondering.
We generally do look and like to have people from within the township, just, you know, but it's not necessarily a requirement.
Okay. Just wanted to throw it out. Okay. Thank you.
see we're on number 10 of the agenda right now, which is...
We want to do a roll call on that.
Oh, sorry, I know we were done with that. Please, go ahead.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Meyer?
Vote yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right, we're now on number 10 of our agenda, which is that part of our agenda which is devoted to public participation. So is there anyone here this evening who would like to make any public comments? Now's your opportunity to do so if you would like to. I'm looking at the Zoom screen too. I don't see any indications over there, or, oh, I see one. Yes, sir. Would you like to come up to the podium to make a comment? And if you could start off by telling us your name.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Michael Flood. I'm with Flood Brothers Disposal and Recycling Services. We are one of the proposers for a topic under your discussion this evening for the refuse and recycling proposal. Just wanted to introduce myself and let you know that I'm here to answer any questions as the conversation comes up in the agenda and give you a little background on our company. We are family owned and operated, based locally in Oak Brook Terrace. We currently service 23 municipal contracts and have over 20 family members in our business. It's a 5th generation business, and I am of the 4th generation. We have over 20 family members in our business. Recently we transitioned the village of Kenilworth, and we are in the process of transitioning the village of Hampshire. One thing to note with us is we are hands-on community partners, excited for an opportunity to grow organically and have great partners with our manufacturers and carts, and also provide seamless transitions. So just wanted to kind of highlight a couple things as you guys review and have discussion, and if there's anything that comes up, I can be available. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Floyd. Are there any other requests for public participation? Seeing none, we will move on to the next item on our agenda, which is our administrator's report. Dean Burnham, would you please step up to the mic and give us your report?
Good evening. As I stated earlier during the OK, for those who don't know me, I'm the Maine Township Administrator, and I've been here for 25 years. Tonight is a very momentous evening, as it is the first official board meeting with our new administration, so welcome to the first meeting. With that being said, I want to give a warm welcome to Supervisor Diamond, Trustees Jones, Horvath, and Maher, Clerk Gialanis, Assessor Moylan Pry, Highway Commissioner Bouvet, and I understand Trustee Malik could not join us tonight. I'm sure that our incumbents are greatly looking forward to working together with our newest member in a productive and efficient fashion on behalf of our Maine Township residents and staff. Instrumental to the success of all of our programs, to residents is the staff of Maine Township. I know we did a quick introductory earlier on, but now that we have the whole board present, and I think we have some members of the community, if I can do a quick introduction again of some of our leaders of the township. If I could do that, you could just raise your hand really quickly. I'd like to introduce Doreen Korak, Supervisor's Assistant, Austin Kelso, Director of General Assistance, Carol Langen, Front Desk Reception and Food Pantry Director, Marty Cook, Recovery Protection, Mike Saman, Maintenance Foreman, Nader Ghazala, Code Enforcement Officer, Richard Lyon, Mainstay Director and Webmaster, and many other things, filming. Roy Dapniewski, Director of our Senior Departments, Yesha Titko, Chief Deputy Clerk, and John Bennett, Director of Office of Emergency Management. Did I say Liz Coy? No. Okay, I'm so sorry. Liz Coy, leader of the assessment department. Maine Township is a wonderful organization, and it serves the community in many different ways. Supervisor Diamond mentioned that the board might want to get involved in some of our programs and departments. So some outreach opportunities, just really quick, that came to mind is our food pantry. We're always looking for help in our food pantry. We have residents that come twice a month. We are open 10 to 1, Tuesday and Friday. We supply about 150 boxes to the residents in need. We don't turn anyone away, especially during COVID. Prior to COVID, we did have people who were on our food pantry rolls. But since then, anybody who needs a box, they're welcome to come and take. We do have a special handout during Thanksgiving and Christmas time. We make special turkey dinners, box dinners for the people in need during holiday time. Another program is our mentoring program. We do a partnership with Big Brothers and Big Sisters for youth ages 8 to 12. The goal of this program is to help youth take positive steps towards academic and future success. And several years ago, we had a couple members of our highway department that were mentors, so that would be a great program. Next, for Rich Lyons department's mainstay. And for our senior department, our senior advisory council, they meet about 4 to 5 times a year, and basically they share ideas and new programs for the senior department. The 4 programs I just mentioned are just a representative and a sample of the kind of things that we do that you can get involved in. So on behalf of the Maine Township leadership team, we are here to support your efforts and provide any information and tools that you need to ensure continued success for the people of the township. So welcome.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And I appreciate everyone who's here tonight. So again, everyone can meet you all. We can put faces with names that we've heard so far. All right, so our next item on the agenda, we're moving into new business. And the first item we see under new business on the agenda is a presentation by Catherine Spar. Catherine is here tonight. She's from National Group Health Alliance. And regarding health insurance renewal rates, voting discussion. Now, Catherine, I see you're passing out some information here.
It's the same.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
All right,
I just had it ready, so I...
all right, fine. We all have here in our packet now, received a couple of days ago, a presentation which you have here. And I understand this is just a duplicate copy that we're looking at, so we don't have to spend any additional time looking at it. That's great. Would you like to just give us a brief overview of
Sure.
what you looked at and what your recommendations are in terms of health insurance for the township?
Sure.
And talk about health insurance mainly, maybe a little time on dental and other benefits too.
Sure, of course.
So we do have a packet. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to all of you. So the renewal came in pretty good this year. My recommendation would be, I know you had time to review the packet, so just let me know if you want me to go over anything in that packet in detail, but I'll pretty much give you the overall. So the Blue Cross Blue Shield grandfather plan, we are allowed to continue with that this year, and they actually gave us a 4.6% decrease this year. So we are really blessed to get that. Usually I have to fight for those numbers to come down. But, and one thing I want to say is, I know one of the trustees had a question about the premiums, and just so it's understood how things work with the carriers. So you guys have been with Blue Cross Blue Shield for many, many years. And they've been, in my opinion, very fair to you guys because the rates are actually based on health risk. Okay, so for a group your size, it's based on health risk. And it was the choice to keep the grandfather plan for many reasons. One being that you never know what the carriers are going to do from year to year now, so they can change a plan. And first of all, these benefits that are in place now, you can't even come close to getting them the same. So that's not available, but you never know once you move off that grandfather plan, really how the plans are going to change. And so besides that though, there's also been the ability to allow trustees to be on the plan. That would not happen if you moved. So once you move away from Blue Cross and away from the grandfather plan, the trustees will not be able to participate should you move to another carrier. While United Healthcare and Humana in the packet on the presentation spreadsheets looks like a savings, I will tell you that those rates are not firm. And so what that means is that those are just rates simply based on age and pretty much geographic, so zip code, and SIC code, meaning municipality. So once they apply the risk to those ratings, what we've seen in the past is that the rates come in much higher than you're at now, or sometimes we've had decline, or very, very, very low percentage of savings after underwriting. So I did put your actual Blue Cross renewal page in there, and then I put the couple spreads to show you Humana and United Healthcare rates before underwriting. So certainly if you want to go through that process, you can, but I would certainly keep in mind that, number one, I don't recommend it. You would have to get rid of your grandfather plan and would not be able to allow trustees the coverage. and the fact that knowing the risk of this group and how fair Blue Cross has been over the years. And when I say that, what I mean by that is so a lot of times, I've been doing this for 20 years now, and what will happen is we'll see a savings with a carrier, with other groups, and they'll want to move. Well, okay, so it's a good teaser rate for that first year because they want to get your business, but then typically what happens is they try to make up for it the next year. So now every year, every 12 months, you're moving your employees to chase another rate and chase another rate, and that gets old and it gets very frustrating. And I've noticed that especially in municipalities, they don't like to upset the apple cart every single year and change people's providers and things like that. So it would be my recommendation, especially with the way that Blue Cross has been fair in your worst of years of experience. They've given you pretty fair, after, they've come out maybe a little bit high, but I've always been able to negotiate the rates down. And another carrier, I don't see other carriers being that generous with year after year after year, the renewals like that. So my recommendation would be to renew as is with the decrease that they gave you this year with the health plan. As far as the dental plan goes, we do have a little bit of savings by moving the dental to principal. We will save a little bit on the life and the dental. And I've gotten some feedback that MetLife isn't working out so well, that the providers just are not in network for a lot of the employees, which I have not, experienced with a lot of other groups. I thought it would be okay. But I think principal would not only save you some money in both the coverages that you're with MetLife right now, the life and the dental, but I think it would make the employees much happier with the networks that would be available to them with principal. And then the vision, just one last thing, the vision, it remains the same. There's no changes on that, and the employees pay 100% for that benefit should they want to enroll in that.
All right. Just to get a motion on the floor, we'll continue our discussion. Do I have a motion to renew our health insurance through Blue Cross Blue Shield?
Motion to renew our health insurance through Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. I'd like to give the trustees an opportunity to ask any questions that they might have.
Of course.
I'd like to just start off by asking our staff if there have been any complaints about Blue Cross Blue Shield, if the staff has been happy with Blue Cross Blue Shield, if there have been any requests by the staff to change to any other insurance carrier. I see a lot of heads shaking, indicating that the staff seems, yes, Daniel.
So I can't see behind me if anyone has their hand raised. I can speak on behalf of most of the staff that I can tell you that I believe we are not interested in changing health insurance plans. We've been very, very happy with our plan for Blue Cross, and I believe that as a collective group, we would not like to change plans.
All right. Unless there's any other comments, I should ask another question of Catherine, or perhaps you're going to answer these questions that I have right here. What I see here on it's the third page, it's a chart. It shows our current rates and the renewal rates, the total monthly cost going from $73,119 down to $69,741. Can you talk about the percentage of the premiums paid by the employer and employees in Maine Township?
Sure. The employer, Maine Township, pays on the employee and the dependents 95%, and the employee pays 5%.
Okay.
And for trustees, I believe that's a little bit different.
It is different, but thank you. Okay. All right, I've had a chance to ask a couple of questions. Would any of the other trustees like to ask them some questions? Jim, you look like you'd want to.
Just real quick, is it based on the percentage of the employees' income? And I understand Maine Township pays 95%, which is outstanding.
Of the total monthly premium.
I see.
Yeah, of the tier that they're in, they might be an employee-only tier, employee spouse tier, employee child or family tier.
But each one of the employees who's full-time, 95% is paid by Maine Township. Is that
Correct.
right?
That's correct.
That's outstanding.
And with the Blue Cross, the staff gets a choice of if they want the HMO or the PPO option.
That is correct.
Any other questions?
I think I'd like to just mention is Catherine's been with the township for a number of years. She's done such a great job. I actually brought her on to represent my realtors over at Central 21 Lagos and Christian. They've all been real happy with the switch as well. So can't say enough about how much she knows and how much she did her job.
Well, thank you very much.
And amazing, you were able to actually lower the premium. That's amazing. every year we sort of go through the stands for, we put in the estimated budget with 7%, and then you come back and surprise us with 3 or 4. It's amazing, it actually went down 4.6, so.
Thank you. It's usually a much longer process in negotiations, but, you know, I did a little talking to him up front about this and sent him some stuff really early. So they came out with something really good out of the gate, which helps everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We do have a motion on the table. Clerk, can you call the roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
I vote yes.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Okay, the next item we have on our agenda is a resolution which would authorize the highway commissioner and the assessor to resume their positions on the dais where they have previously been seated. Do I have a motion to adopt this resolution number 2021-5?
Yes, motion to adopt resolution 20-21-5 to resume the seats at the dais for our board, for our highway commissioner and our assessor. Okay. Second. Okay, all right, fine. Any discussion? I think we're going back to a roll call.
Happily. Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Oh, this is great. I've been waiting, 3 years to do this? That was just a ridiculous move, and so happy to have you back up here. Thank you.
Trustee Horvath? And Trustee Maher?
Yes to the days. I say yes.
Yes, to the...
Come on up, Jack.
All the papers.
That's your seat, where you belong.
All right, okay. All right, next item on our agenda is discussion of appointment of authorized IMRF agent. We do need an agent for IMRF, and the previous agent is no longer on the board, so we need a new resolution. So do I have a motion to pass resolution 2021-6?
Yeah, a motion to pass resolution 2021-6 for appointing the Maine Township MRF agent.
Second.
Thank you. So that I would be serving as the agent under this resolution. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. All right, then I think we need a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Now we have perhaps a little weightier discussion and possible vote on the waste hauler proposal, consideration for the unincorporated area. So we do have a number of packets here from each one of 3 waste haulers. Dana, did you have any introductory comments about this process?
Very short.
How requests for proposals were solicited?
Right. So an RFP was posted in the local newspaper and I believe on our website back on February 17th. We asked for proposals to be turned in by March 16th, and 3 waste hauler companies turned in proposals. Those 3 were Republic Services, which is who we currently have, Flood Brothers, which I think we met the representative tonight, and Lakeshore Recycling Systems. I'm not sure if we have a representative here. And you will find all 3 of those in your board distribution. You should have those with you in front of you. Our current contract is up September 30th, so as of October 1st, we will have to have a new waste hauler or renew the current one we have. This affects 3,000 households in our unincorporated area. So I do believe this discussion should be somewhat at length, either with our board members, or if you want to consider forming a committee with the board members, staff, or residents in the community. That would be a board decision. I think it's our responsibility to provide, the best waste hauler, obviously, company for the unincorporated area. It's a big decision, and it's kind of a big contract, and I think that, this is something we probably should talk about at length. So, I don't know if you want to start discussing it now, if you want to talk about setting up a committee, we can put it on, also back on the old business for June. The only other comment that I want to make is that a couple of the waste haulers did state to me, if we do decide to change companies, these companies do have to purchase carts and trucks and hire personnel. So although I know the contract's not up until October and it's only May, it sounds like we have some time. We don't. They do need some lead time of several months to get this going. Obviously, if we stay with Republic, everything's in place. But if we do switch, I think that we do need to make a decision by June or July at the very latest. So.
All right, thank you. So if we were to defer the decision to June or July at the latest, we would still give these providers enough time to switch over for us if we chose someone else besides Republic.
Correct.
Okay. So you have a request for proposal, which is in our packet, and can I presume that each one of these three providers, waste haulers, conformed with a request for proposals that you sent out, that they had everything in there that we're looking for?
Yes, they did.
Okay, fine. Were there any other providers other than these three that expressed any interest?
The company Cruise did express interest. They emailed me several questions, and then at some point emailed me that they were filling out the process with no explanation. So, and then no other company had expressed any interest.
Okay, all right. So at this point, I think the first thing I'd like to ask the board is if you want to discuss this further this evening, if you want to put it over for a different date. If anyone wants to make a motion regarding it at this point.
I looked at the packets of materials, three exceptionally good presentations by all three. It seems like the three companies are competing, correct? It seems to me we should discuss it some more before we want to take any votes on it. Look at it. It looks like the prices that I noticed were very similar, very, very close. And I would like to know a little bit more about how long our current company has been with us. And then discuss it a little more. So I don't know.
The representative is joining
So,
us
I
here
don't know, so Howell, is she here?
Well, there's your extension.
too. Yeah, she's top center.
Tish? I don't know.
There she is.
Tish, if you want to make
So,
any comments,
Hi, Tish.
you can unmute yourself and
I think she did it. We got to turn the volume up.
She's still, looks like she's still mute.
Sometimes the volume turns off on this just a second.
This is our current municipal manager for Republic.
10 years.
10 years. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Hi, Tish.
Hello, thanks for having me today. My name is Tish Powell. I am the manager of municipal sales for Public Services and fellow elected official. So I want to say congratulations to the newly seated board members and township supervisor. Definitely appreciate your service to the community. We have been, Republic Services has been proud to be your waste hauler since 2008. And we know your town, and your residents know us and trust us in terms of providing your service. We provided you with a proposal based on the specifications that were outlined in the RFP for several different options in terms of 4, 5, and I believe 7-year terms. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have and to clarify anything that you might need clarification on. I will say that we are the largest provider of municipal services, municipal residential services in the United States, collecting from over 12 million homes per week. And we currently hold over 105 municipal contracts in the Chicagoland area and over 2,400 nationwide. So when it comes to providing municipal and residential services, Republic Services is a very strong partner for municipalities, and I believe we've been a very strong partner for Maine Township. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Powell. I know that you've attended a number of meetings in the past and you've been here and sort of, I know that this matter has been under considerations for a while too, so thank you for coming back again and addressing the new board members too.
Absolutely.
All right, so I will still entertain a motion if anyone wants to make one. Right now I'm not hearing one, but if someone wants to make a motion regarding one of these providers, certainly they can do so. Otherwise, I suggest that we might put it over to our next meeting to look at this matter a little bit further. I will also consider forming a committee regarding this, so, but I haven't decided quite about that yet. I did want to ask while we're here if there's any department heads here that have received any comments or complaints from the service that we've received thus far. And if they have, they can either address the board now or talk to me later about that. Because I do want to know how our residents are happy with their service and, you know, what if anything different they would like to see about the service. And I imagine you would be the people who would hear about that one way or the other. Not all of you, but some of you anyway. So I think we will pass this matter and move on to our next agenda item. Thank you, Mr. Flood and Ms. Powell, for attending again. We appreciate your being available to answer questions. I think we need to give a little bit more thought in that almost all of us here on the board are new to the board. So,
Also,
yeah, do you want to make that motion? Yeah.
also Karen, is it likely to be any other candidates? Does anyone know? Because it's down to 3 candidates.
No, I think there's still 3. We just don't have a representative,
Still.
the third person here, the third company here. So we
I'm saying open to other companies, that's what I'm saying.
well, I think the request for proposal deadline is passed.
Right, the deadline was March 16th, so it's closed.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if you can hear me. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Bill Kenny. I am the municipal manager for LRS Lakeshore Recycling. And I just wanted to let it know that I was here in case there were any questions.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You want to start, what's your name again?
My name is Bill Kenny, K-E-N-N-E-Y.
From Lakeshore Recycling Systems.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to make a motion to table the discussion and possible vote of waste hauler proposal consideration for the unincorporated area until our next meeting.
I second that motion.
Okay, roll call. Do you roll call that or voice vote? Do you roll call?
What would you recommend, attorney?
I can just do it.
Voice of click on.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, that'll be on our June agenda. I'm sure, Steph will take care of it. I'm sure that's on the agenda. All right, now on our agenda is adoption of a policy regarding optional masks. Was it a week ago, I think I received a draft policy from Karen, who's sitting next to me here, our attorney. And I think maybe this policy has been drafted for many different government bodies. And we had discussed this somewhat even before I received this from you, but why don't you talk about the nature of this policy and where these provisions come from? And then we can talk about it more as this board here.
Sure. So this board has, on an ongoing basis, been trying to navigate life with COVID. And you will recall, if you've been following these board meetings, that the board has passed different policies throughout COVID related to working at home for employees and other different things. And sometimes it's challenging because the board would pass policies and then the governor would issue executive orders. And so all this policy is doing is really following the most recent guidance, which says that if people have been fully vaccinated in excess of 2 weeks following that they would not be required to wear masks in the building. And that's kind of already the policy that we're following here. But this is just like a formalization of that. And also that we're still maintaining the space with the social distancing until we're totally free with this. And then we are still following the capacity limits in accordance with the Bridge to Phase 5 Restore Illinois plan. So that's what it is. And then if people are not vaccinated, they're still wearing masks. We're not going to be the mask police over this. It's kind of like the honor system. But that's what this is about.
Okay, and this was something that was sent to to me about a week ago, and I forwarded it to the members to look at. So I'm going to ask if someone would like to make a motion to adopt this, but I think we may want to have a little discussion about whether or not this policy fits our needs here at Maine Township. So I'm going to ask if someone would like to make a motion to adopt this mask policy.
Sure, I'll make a motion to discuss and adopt the policy regarding the optional masks.
Second.
All right, so we have this on the floor now, and what I'd like to do is to turn this over to the other, or to give the other elected officials an opportunity to comment on whether or not this mask policy is where it serves their need and their staff needs, and also then to ask any of the department heads if you have any concerns about the mask policy. So I just want everyone in the township to feel comfortable and safe. So I trust you have drafts of the policy in front of you, or maybe not. I don't know. Yes, just 1 second. Does anyone want a copy of the mask policy that doesn't have one?
I have it here, I can make copies. Anybody wants it?
Yeah, it's... All right, while Paige is making a few copies, why don't you go ahead?
Okay, are we going to still keep up the partitions?
Oh, yeah, I don't think this says anything about partitions.
Yeah, staff on a whole, when I'm here and talk to staff, we're comfortable shedding our masks, but I think to make not only ourselves comfortable, but the residents comfortable that we still use our masks. So I think that actually makes them comfortable also, residents, when they come in, when you start to step, get out, they're comfortable. Yes, so within the township itself, I think that we're pretty comfortable among us, but servicing the people, I mean, not only for us, but I think also it makes the residents more comfortable wearing a mask. That's my feeling.
Okay. Ed, do you have any comments you'd like to make about that?
No, I think this mask policy, my staff wouldn't have a problem with this. Most of the time they're working autonomous out with themselves on the streets, so it doesn't affect the highway as much. Thank you.
I think our staff, Deisha, is pretty comfortable with the policy as a whole. I do think keeping up the partition certainly makes sense. It's, you know, an extra layer of protection that everybody's pretty much gotten used to.
Yeah.
And personally, I think you're going to start seeing this more and more everywhere you go. It seems like restaurants and stores are all kind of starting to adopt these policies. So I'm certainly okay with the functional staff.
We would like to keep the partitions, yes.
I'm sorry, did you say you wanted the partitions?
We would like to keep that.
Fine. Yeah, I don't think we're talking about tearing down any partitions.
Now say they won't find pennies.
Do I have any other department heads who would like to share any concern with their staff about this proposed policy? Okay. Susan, I understand you have one suggestion regarding dealing with the public at the counter. Do you have any suggested language that you wanted to insert there?
You mean when we're speaking with the residents?
Right. Wait, isn't that what you're
Or make
talking about?
something in addition to this?
Yeah.
I don't know how the other departments feel about that, how they feel. I still see, I think that I've seen other departments still wearing masks, even though they're aware of this when they're dealing with residents. I think that when you're, especially with a resident that is wearing a mask also, that they feel a little bit more comfortable. You know?
So, yeah, I think we want to make it clear that anyone who wants to wear a mask should absolutely feel free to wear a mask as long as they want, either, you know, for their own health issues, or just like to be extra careful. Maybe they have a cold and they're trying to prevent someone else from getting a cold, you know, for whatever reason. So we certainly, everyone who wants to wear a mask should continue to do so. I guess the only question is are we asking people who come into the building, are we asking them to wear a mask? And then,
Are we?
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
We We have signs on the front door.
I saw
And
that.
throughout the building, Vicki and I put the front building, that says, it's the honor system, honestly, we're not asking for to be in the cars, but it says, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear, and I think a lot of stores are putting these on their doors as well, so it says, please continue to wear a mask if you have not been vaccinated. We have one at our front door and they're throughout the building. So we are asking residents to keep wearing the mask if they have not been vaccinated.
So, I wanted to ask you, and I've been back there, I just can't remember. Is there a partition in between your
Yes.
staff? So there is a partition there?
Yes.
And they can certainly, when they walk up to the counter to wait on someone, put a mask on.
That's, yes.
If that, would that be
If that would be the
sufficient to reassure your staff their safety between the partition and wearing a mask themselves?
Sure, I think that they feel comfortable still in this interim.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Certainly that's going to change. I'm very hopeful.
Sure, right.
You know, but just in this interim, that's, and I think that that's what they have been doing that right now. When they've been with residents and doing service for them.
So I think
of course,
they
in a couple
continue to
weeks,
do
another
that
house
policy.
Yeah.
The policy doesn't prohibit people who want to wear masks from wearing masks.
Right.
All right. Okay, is there any other further questions or comments?
I would just say, the first opinion should be the people that work regularly for the township closely together. The most important opinion should be the people who work together closely for the township. And second should be the public, where we should, we have people work. Because they're the people that are going to be working together closely most often, effectively.
Okay, all right, then I think we're ready for a roll call, okay?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Okay, all right, our next item is discussion and vote on having 2021 National Night Out Against Crime. Pete, I think you're the most knowledgeable on this about this matter. This is something you've worked on for a while. Can you talk to us about this?
Yeah. I mean, last year, obviously, with COVID, we weren't able to do it. I've been the chairperson, I think, for the last 5 or 6 years. Before that, it was Assessor Cry. It's a great event. It really brings everybody together. The problem or the concern I have with it, and why we haven't announced it one way or another yet, and I was kind of waiting to get the new board in and get your opinion and your thoughts on it as well, is it takes a lot of work to put on National Night Out, a lot of planning and organization. It hasn't really been until like the last 3 weeks that it seems like everything is really starting to open up, and concerts have been announced and gatherings have been announced. So, I don't think either the city of Park Ridge or the city of Des Plaines is, at least as of, to my knowledge, as of now, having National Night Out. So, my main concern would be that the people that help with it, the volunteer staff, a lot of them are older. A couple of them have expressed concern to me about, volunteering, not necessarily coming to the meetings that we have prior to National Night Out, but coming to the event itself, where we have usually about 600 to 700 people attend, and it's kind of hard to practice social distancing at it. When we do some of the raffle prizes and whenever everybody kind of bum rushes the stage, and it's really kind of hard to have crowd control. So, I mean, as much as I hate to say, well, maybe it's still a year too soon, I'm just kind of curious what everybody's thoughts are. And if we did decide we were going to move forward with it, we really have to get going on it quickly, because like I said, there are a lot of wheels to the cog. One of them being the Cook County Sheriff's Department, and I reached out to Penny Maytech, our liaison from the Sheriff's Department, and she actually got back to me via email saying she's not, the Sheriff's Department's kind of in the same boat with this. Basically saying that I would love to say yes, but I do need to check with my chief for final approval. Our department's been very careful because of COVID, so I would need to let you know. So if, even if we did decide to move forward, if the Sheriff's Department, for whatever reason, isn't on board, it's going to really make it difficult, because that's 70% of what we do, is having sheriffs there, their vehicles, police dog demonstration, the helicopter flyover. That's a big part of it. So if they're deciding, potentially that they're out, that would really make a difference.
So what do you think you're going to do? Are we talking about it next month, or is it too late, or?
Well, some municipalities are postponing it and doing it either September or October, which would be a possibility as well. I'm not concerned with doing it in October, it starts getting dark so early. But I could see maybe still September being a viable option, the first Tuesday in September. So, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with kind of waiting, getting a little more guidance from them. It's nothing we need to vote on. I mean, we can still decide to move forward with it, but I would like your guys' opinion and input on it as well.
Anyone have any thoughts on that?
I guess I would feel more comfortable either postponing it until September or just not having this sort of thing. And looking at events, larger events, and like displays, for example, they're not going to have the taster displays in the summer, but in September they're going to have the Fall Fest. So kind of giving a little bit of a time to kind of see where things are. But it does concern me if the sheriff's department is not, if we don't know where they're going to be. But
Yeah, it's really kind of hard to say, okay, we're going to move forward, and then, in a week they come back and say, no, we're not there yet, or we're not ready. Well, then we're kind of dead in the water with it anyway. So I think it does make the most sense to at least tentatively postpone it until September. We'll kind of wait and see how things go, and then if it looks like we can make it happen, then, I've been doing this many years. I kind of know what we need to do. We would just have to do it in a little quicker time.
how long does it usually take to pull together?
We usually start our meetings in April, then we'll have like a meeting in April, one in May, one in June, and one in July. So we have 4 meetings from start to finish to get everything together. One of the main things we do is like a poster contest. We get a lot of the local schools and the day camps involved with doing posters. If we did decide to move forward, that would maybe be one thing we'd have to forego this year, just again, due to the time frame of it. I don't know your thoughts on that. You help me organize it a lot. Yeah. But, if we remove that portion or that part out of the equation, a lot of the other stuff I can kind of do behind the scenes to get it organized.
How many volunteers do you usually need?
We usually have about 15 that come to the meetings that help. And the night of, I'd say there's probably, a good 40 of us that come.
Yeah, most of our staff is there.
Yeah. And then Park District staff from the North Maine Park District, as well as the Sheriff's Department.
Okay. All right, are any other comments?
I would vote for postponing it, just to see where the county ends up in a month from now, because they are such an integral part of it.
Yeah, like I said, it's nothing we really need to vote on, but rather than just making a decision, I want to make you guys a part of it as well. So.
All right. Perhaps we can talk about it next month too?
Sure.
All right. Okay, if we can get that on the agenda for next month too, that'd be great. All right. Next item, discussion and vote on the Cook County Higher Ed program. Dana, do you want to say a couple words about this?
One more time.
Yeah, please.
Okay, your board packets, you can take out the higher back agreement. Okay, the higher back program, to summarize it, I believe we've had this program for 40 plus years. It's been around a very, very long time, I think since the 70s, as Doreen looked it up earlier today. Okay, this is an agreement between, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
We had that?
No, I don't think so. I didn't know.
Anyone else have it or no?
All right, thank you.
Okay, this is an agreement between, intergovernmental agreement between Maine Township and Cook County Sheriff's Office. And basically what it is they provide an extra Cook County sheriff Wednesday through Sunday from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. to ride around the unincorporated area. The cost to the township is $40 an hour, which comes out to about $200 per shift. And our line item under administration is $50,000, and that's what we budget every year. Okay, right now I think the agreement that you have in the board packet, I believe, is for 5 years. However, there is a clause that allows either party to terminate the agreement by giving 30 days written notice for any reason. What I do want to tell you about the program, I hope you had a chance to kind of just skim it over at least, but some of the examples of what an officer might respond to in the unincorporated area is anything from domestic battery, intoxicated subject, street disturbance, neighbor trouble, fireworks being set off, suspicious auto, noise disturbance, plus others. The average miles driven in a month are about 1,000, and the case reports are about 200. So they do give us detailed statistics, and I think this is a very beneficial program. I would like to maintain the relationship with Cook County and go forward in keeping the hire back program. I feel it's very beneficial, and I'm hoping that you agree to sign this contract.
Okay, well, let's see if we can get this on the floor. Would someone like to make a motion to enter into the hire back agreement dated June 13, 2021 between Cook County and
Motion to continue the Cook County hire back program.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Yes, Jim.
It seems to me that paragraphs in E and F contradict one another, so we have to have our lawyer look at that. First, E says it's a 5-year contract, and then F says it can be terminated at 30 days notice, which is completely contradictory to that, so. In my view, those conflict.
Dana, that's been in there in the past, right?
So I was under, and obviously Jerry Lynch should speak on this, I'm not an attorney, and you're an attorney as well. So I was under the impression that although it says 5 years, F also is stating that allows either party to get out at any time. So I would, and yeah.
In my view, those can lead to a legal battle on a breach of the contract. We dismiss them after 90 days, and they say, we have a 5-year contract with you. We want to make that clear in that contract.
Okay.
Whether it is a 5-year contract or whether it can be canceled on 30 days notice.
Jerry, do you have a copy of it?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I think it's kind of a
Yeah, this has always been in the contract, so this isn't the language, it hasn't changed, so I don't know if you want to comment on it, if you want me to have them change it, or Doreen.
Well, I mean, I think either the intention is for it to be a 5-year contract, but if either side wants to get out of it, it allows them to on notice.
Right.
Yeah,
Those words say it.
I think it's acceptable. I mean, it is a contract that you can get out of fairly easy, but it's for a period of time. It states a certain dollar amount, certain terms and conditions are in there. It does allow for some kind of escape clause for either party with adequate notice. Are there other questions or comments?
Because I'm just curious about, so these are just various officers, it's not like one specific person?
No, it's not the same person, I think the police department determines who they send out, so it's not always the same officer, but on the reports that they give us, it states who the officer is, his number.
And how is the determination made as to who to assign? It's just
That, yeah, that.
Okay. I guess I'm just thinking about if these people are coming into our, the officers are coming into our township, what, accountability there is, and just what kind of officers we're getting. Are we getting, sheriff's, sorry. Okay.
Also, what I read was one extra. If I read it, there's one extra individual that we want to hire to be a part-time, kind of a part-time guy.
Right, so Cook County sends out one officer. I don't believe it's the same officer. So Wednesday through Sunday, 8 p.m. to Sunday. But I think they determine who they send. We don't decide.
We think that's a need for that extra officer.
Yes.
That's a need for that extra officer.
There is. I mean, there are some areas in the incorporated area that are transient. Yes, I think there are some areas.
There's a need for it.
Yes, there is need for it. Absolutely.
I think I misunderstood, but so it's basically the same officers that are normally here anyway. It's just like it's just like an extra shift, basically.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's I got it now.
Yeah, they're generally officers that do service our local areas, so they're familiar with.
Okay.
Right,
That's-
they're basically giving an extra shift to someone.
I got it now.
Right, and we're paying for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions or comments? All right. Then
Yes.
Trustee Meyer.
I vote no.
The next item we have is the appointment and vote on the ethics ordinance, an ethics advisor and discussion of the 3-member appointees. And I seem to have lost that part of my packet. I had everything together. I think I had part of this in my office. Do other members have information in their packet regarding this item, the ethics advisor and 3-member appointees?
You want to file here?
It's right on the list. I left it right on the list for a window.
I saw.
Just to start off, I understand by statute, we as a local government body are required to create an ethics committee. And in addition to the ethics committee, there is an ethics advisor. And so what this would do is, I think let's see. What we need to do is appoint an ethics advisor, and I did volunteer to do that. That doesn't mean I'm a member of the committee, but just there to advise the committee when the committee is formed. The committee cannot be board members, it has to be non-board members, and I think there's supposed to be no more than 2 from each political party.
Okay, so when the Gift Ban Act was adopted many, many years ago, it contained a requirement that local government bodies create ethics commissions, but then that was held to be unconstitutional, not that part of it, but the entire Gift Ban Act. And the way that it was brought back, it didn't carry forward the obligation to create an ethics commission. Now, many public bodies have decided that they have wanted to have one. I actually thought the township did have an ethics ordinance.
We do. We do have one. I mean, what we need to do is just appoint someone. That's right. We already had an ethics commission, but the advisor was a member of the old board, so we just need to appoint a new ethics advisor. And then I think we need to appoint members. We don't have to do this right tonight, but we need to appoint some members to this commission. There's really nothing that they need to do, I understand, unless there's actually a complaint that's filed. So it's not like they have to meet or take any action immediately, but at some point in the future, we might need them. So there's no urgency to create, to name the members of it. And, I would ask the other board members for suggested names, and I can sort of keep those handy and at some point appoint them to the commission, should any commission ever be needed. So I think there is on our agenda item 4, let's see, and do we also need to vote on this? I'm not sure if I was even
This is for appointment and vote.
oh, yes, okay.
Motion to appoint and vote an ethics ordinance, ethics advisor, and discussion of 3-member appointees.
Second. Wait a minute. Okay, so you've already adopted the ordinance, so we don't need a motion on that. What you need a motion on is if you're actually going to appoint people. So do you have people tonight you want to appoint?
No, the only thing to do that I'm asking the board to do tonight is appoint me as the ethics advisor. That's
Okay.
it. Because we had one, that person's no longer.
All right, so then let's make a motion to appoint the supervisor to serve as the ethics advisor.
Okay.
And, yeah.
That's all.
We can see the literature on that as well. We can see the paperwork on that.
Yeah, it was in there. Okay. Motion to appoint Supervisor Diamond as ethics advisor.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion or questions about that? No, I don't know if you saw that in our packet. I had it in my packet. Did you not see that, John?
So I didn't have anything in my packet related to this. I think that's fine. We should appoint you going forward. I think what we need to do is I need to look at it just to make sure what the capacity is, because, for example, if someone filed an ethics complaint against you, you could be the advisor. But your ordinance does provide that it does permit elected officials to do that. So why don't we have that appointment made, and then if the board wants to look at the ethics ordinance going forward and see if we need to tweak any of those procedures, we can do that.
All right, maybe we should put that on our agenda for next month, just to further look at this. We can go ahead with that motion for right now. But we still want everyone to get a chance to look at the entire package. So I'm sorry if that wasn't all something that you were able to see.
No, it was not.
Okay, all right, so that will be on our agenda for next month. But we do have a motion on the floor for right now. Would you do a roll call for that?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes?
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Meyer.
Yes.
All right. Now, here's another one for appointment of a FOIA officer vacancy. I understand that one of the trustees who no longer is on board was one member of the FOIA committee. So
Was the supervisor was on board.
Oh, this,
Yeah, Laura was
was
right.
FOIA, one of the FOIA officers.
Right.
Is that right?
And Kim and Ish.
All right. Okay. So the next motion is to appoint me as a FOIA officer replacing Laura Morales. So do I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to appoint and vote Supervisor Diamond as the FOIA officer.
FOIA officer. FOIA officer is sufficient. All right. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion on that? Okay. All right. Then we need a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Meyer.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is just for information. This is a program that someone from the Sheriff's Office, John Donovan, called me about, the drug take-back and electronic recycling event. Wanted to know if we wanted to schedule that. We could do it in a parking lot anytime from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. is usually when they would do it. I thought when I was talking with him on the phone, he said it would normally be a Saturday, but it doesn't have to be a Saturday. I think it probably would be most convenient for most of our residents if it was a Saturday. So I just wanted to know if anyone had any suggestions in terms of dates and if they wanted to be present. You know, if you want to be present as a volunteer or something like that. I don't think they need a lot of help, but if you wanted to, I was just going to suggest you look at your calendars and tell me, can I get back to him with a certain date? Can I tell him this is a day we'd like to have it on?
Did he have available dates?
You know, at the time I asked him, I said, you know, what dates are available? And he said, anything right now. Now, this was a few weeks ago. So I should probably give him, you know, maybe a first and second choice that we might have. Now, just to make clear, this is a drug take-back and electronic recycling event. It's not a shredding event. And the reason it's not a paper shredding event is because, as he explained to me, they can't bring the shredder to our parking lot. They have to take people's documents, bring them someplace else and shred them at an office that the sheriff has. He said most people don't like to relinquish their documents. They want to see them shredded right in front of them. So he said people don't usually want us to take their documents to another site to shred them. So that's why they're just offering these two forms of recycling right now. So do you trustees, what do you think, Saturday or do you want to do a weekday?
Saturday, yes.
All right. Is anyone aware of any other recycling events going on in other suburbs? Because they don't want to do it too close to another event that they might be having.
Two actual events on one day, right? Karen, drug recycling and paper on the same
Oh,
event.
yeah, they do it together.
They do it together, the same event. All right.
Yeah, so the sheriff will handle both of them.
Sounds like a big event. All right.
To confer with the state rep and state senator, because I know that they hold different events.
They're heavily document shredding.
They just do that?
Yes.
And do we know where they're doing it at?
I'm waiting for Justin to get back to me, setting it up. He had it at some place in Des Plaines, a lighting place.
Oh,
and that's where he's trying to set it up.
Or
again.
at Chernow Electric, And they did the shredding right on site, didn't they?
Yeah, I guess so.
And can I just ask a question? I mean, how much, in the way of electronics, if we have an electronic event, I think we will be swamped with people. they give you any idea how many people and?
Says for electronics, their staff will arrive with a truck and help with loading anything into the truck. All electronics are recycled by Sims Metal Management. There's no cost to the township.
It sounds great, I would love to see it. I've had people call me about
Yeah, okay, great.
electronics, so I'd love to see it.
Now,
Count me in, I'll be there.
they do say that this may be of interest to some people. They do not wipe the electronic hard drives, but all electronics are fully disposed of and recycled by a crusher. Nothing is refurbished or reused.
So TVs, jobbies.
That's what we would.
That's what they all bring.
I know when they have a fridge, it's on that house, there's lines, long lines.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to give you all a chance to look at your calendars, and if you would consult with, who are you going to call? Susan, you were going to call this state?
To the state rep and Joey call.
Yeah, if you would.
Senator Murphy.
Yeah, if you would, you know. And just get back to you with any dates that are not good for you, or if you want to participate. And if that's not something you want to participate in, or you don't have any opinion about, you don't have to.
No, I think we're asking.
Okay, all right. Okay, so hopefully we'll come up with a date for that very soon. And I'll
And
touch
I just
base.
mentioned we need time, you know, to let the residents know about it too, like, you know, published in the paper. We used to post flyers here, but now we don't do that anymore since COVID, but we definitely need time to let them know.
I suppose if we did it later in the summer.
And it would definitely have to be on a Saturday, you know, with the parking lot and everything
One other piece
else.
too, so we have our OEM departments, so they can do traffic control. John is sitting back there. And they do a lot of traffic control for events that we have, events in the community, just so to make it more, obviously it sounds like there's a lot of people that put those students. They direct traffic in, direct them out. So as soon as you get a date, where's John? Here he is.
Okay.
We can let him know what it is.
All right, fine. I mean, if we made it late, if we made it in August, we might even be able to get it into Maine's news, right? So I don't know if you want to wait that long, but we could give it a little bit more publicity then.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to ask anyone who has any preferences dates to contact me within the next week, because then I'll be calling you back again. Okay? All right, thanks. Okay. All right. The next thing on our agenda is old business. And under that, the only thing I see here is officials' reports. Do you have any reports from any of our officials?
Nothing to add other than what's on the written report.
Okay.
I sent in a written report also.
I see it right here, thank you. Township assessor, the clerk's services, I see the numbers that you have here for last year and this year, thank you. Okay. And, I don't know if you have anything you want to add or not yet?
I have a
You've
couple,
only been in office for a week. So.
I have a couple things, yeah.
Oh, you do, okay.
Yeah, it's been a busy week already. First of all, I just wanted to say, thanks for the community that have faith and put me here. I hope I, make them proud and do a good job. And also the staff for keeping the wheels turning here. And then I also want to say that the recycling event will be a big hit. I know we get a lot of residents that call for that. One of the other things in the future might be a good idea for harder to recycle items, like tires and stuff like that. I think that'd be a good idea. Might require a little bit of money for that, but I think it's worth it. Right now, we're currently working on our annual project for 2021. I'm working with their engineer and to do an evaluation of our streets, curbs, and sidewalks, and hopefully we could put together a 4-year plan for the highway department soon. I got the guys doing a spring cleanup at the yard, the building, and the garage. And then we're evaluating fleet vehicles and equipment status on whether we're going to keep certain vehicles or sell some. And then the tree branch pickup is in full swing. As you know, it runs from April through September, the third Monday of each month. If anybody has questions on the specific size of the piles of branches, you can look on our website. And then our highway staff has installed warning and flashing lights on the S-curve over there. That could be a dangerous street, so it's just to give the motorists some visual to slow down around that S-turn. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any trustees have anything they'd like to add at this point or mention at this point? Kelly?
Just something I talked to Karen about, Supervisor Bennett. I just wanted to see if, what anybody felt about, I was interested in possibly hanging a rainbow flag for the month of June in the township. I didn't know if other people had thoughts on that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
To hang a rainbow flag for the month of June.
All right. First thing, I just want to ask three. This item was not on our agenda. I think the idea came up after the agenda was printed. So is this something that we could vote on, or do we need to vote on something like this?
I think you could probably do it without voting on it, and then in the future, if you actually want to have a policy about which kind of flags you will and won't, or just so there's something written, people aren't, to allow the board to have some control over that. Now, it's one thing with Pride Month, and that's already a designated thing, so I think that would be fine if you just do that, but that probably would actually fall under the supervisor, CEO, day-to-day running of the township. Okay. So you could do that without a vote.
Okay. And a concern I have is, if we put the flag up for 1 month, under what compulsion are we to put up flags for various other months, for various other groups, for various other reasons? And I just have some concerns of, what kind of precedent that sets, what kind of obligation we might be under to put it up for various other groups.
Well, that's why I think it's one thing if it's already a designated national or state event, and you won't want to fly a flag in conjunction with that, but to prevent any kind of arguments that you're discriminating in favor of some groups and against other groups, and it would be worth the board developing a policy on that going forward. So we could put that on next month's agenda, and I will talk to my team and see if we've done that for any of our other public bodies.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like we don't need to vote for it, but I would like to consult a little bit more with Carrie Lynn regarding what, if any, difficulties we might have going forward.
Yeah, it was just a thought. It was inspired. The City of Des Plaines just recently had a similar vote, and they overwhelmingly voted in favor of doing that. It's something that's flown at the state capitol, the City Hall in Chicago, a lot of other municipalities, the White House, so it was just something I thought of and wanted to. I didn't think we had a policy, flag policy, so I just wanted to bring it up.
Something that we might look at going forward and put that on the list of things to put on the agenda at some point. Maybe not all next month, but that's something that we can talk about. As long as we don't have a vote, we don't need a vote on it. It's a full flag. I will talk with Carrie Lynn after the meeting and in the next couple of days about this. All right. Any other trustee matters that you would like to bring to the attention of the rest of the board?
No, I just made a comment.
Oh, go ahead.
I would just like to also, as Eddie did, thank the residents and voters for their vote of confidence in re-electing me. And I'm really looking forward to working with the new board, and I welcome a new supervisor and highway commissioner and trustees. Judging by this evening, I think we're going to be a great team, and we're going to do a lot of good things for the residents. So welcome and thank you. And I hope everybody has a very safe Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you very much, Kim. I think all of us there have the comments, and we want to thank the voters of Maine Township for placing their trust in us, and we hope we live up to that honor that they've bestowed upon us. And we look forward to working with the other newly elected officials of the board. So that brings us to the end of our agenda, with the exception of a closed session. I'm going to, in a minute, ask for motions to go into closed session for discussion of pending or possible litigation. Just to let everyone know, after our closed session is over, we anticipate returning to open session, at which point we may vote on some matter that was discussed in the closed session. So you're welcome to stay around and wait if you wish to, or leave if you don't want to. So I don't imagine there'll be much done after we come out of the closed session, but I just want to let you know that's how we will be proceeding. So if I could have a motion now to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing pending or possible litigation, I'll entertain that motion.
I'll bring a motion to go into closed session.
For those purposes.
For those purposes.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Oh, wait, maybe I need a roll call. Sorry, please do a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Meyer?
Yes.
All right. For those of you who decide to have other things to do, you're going home. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, and we look forward to possibly seeing you later. All right, so the board is now back in open session. We voted to go out of closed session, back into open session. As I said before, we went in that we might or might not have any. What?
Motion to reconvene.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah, we said he needs to take roll call here again.
All right, okay.
Motion.
There's a motion to reconvene.
Yes, I'll make a motion to reconvene.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Or do we want to roll call?
Both, all in favor, good on that?
I think we need roll
Roll
call.
call, okay. Yeah, all right. Supervisor Diamond?
Yes, here.
Trustee Jones?
Here.
Trustee Horvath?
Here.
And Trustee Meyer?
I'm here.
As we said before, we went into closed session. We might or might not have anything to vote on when we came out of the closed session. I don't believe we actually will be voting on anything at this point in time. We have discussed various matters and made some partial or decisions or moving towards a decision. Perhaps I can say that. Moving towards a decision, but no final action will be taken tonight. So those of you who stayed and were hoping for some exciting news, I'm sorry, there is not right now. I don't believe we have any more motions or anything else on our agenda this evening. Therefore, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Okay. Will you do a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
And Trustee Meyer?
Yes, please.